Hi everyone, and thanks Aidan for having me, and thanks everyone for actually coming here tonight and thinking that this was a worthwhile topic to actually listen to, because I do think that, you know, investing time in your health and well-being and ultimately your performance is a good investment in your own time. I suppose if you were to kind of ask yourself, when is the last time that you really felt healthy and well? When is the last time that you could actually say that your mood was a 10 out of 10? That maybe your energy was a 10 out of 10, and you actually jumped out of bed in the morning and you looked forward to the day ahead. If you're saying yes, then super. If not, then why not? So we're going to just maybe talk a little about like that now tonight. So I suppose for me, my story, as Aidan said, yeah, I worked with Cork County Council for 13 years as an environmental scientist. And initially, I suppose I really loved my job, really enjoyed it. But as time went on, kind of started to lose maybe the interest, lose the motivation. And it was time for a change. It was time for something new to happen in my life. That motivation was going, and I suppose that spark was going for what I had liked. So I started to study nutrition about 5 years ago. And this got, I suppose, this is where things really kind of improved for me, because ultimately, I suppose I hadn't felt well through the years. In my 20s, you know, I suppose you're going to college, you're living the dream, you're out socializing and drinking, not eating great, stressing over exams, and then kind of your late 20s, you're living from weekend to weekend, and ultimately, I suppose, going out, spending your money and drinking, and all this kind of really catches up with you and caught up with me. My digestive system wasn't working properly. I wasn't absorbing my foods right. I just, I didn't feel good. I felt I was intolerant to everything, intolerant to my foods, intolerant to different chemicals. So then hit my 30s and ended up in a car crash. And I suppose this is what really kind of turned things upside down for me. And it was like really that it was kind of saying, this is a stop sign for you, Jen. You're kind of going in the wrong direction. You need to start looking at something else here. So this was really my start, I suppose, my road for wellness. Because they, you know, ultimately, I suppose I had no energy at the time and my mood was low. My husband had to take over all the cooking and all the housework. So I was coming home from work and had a lot of pain and inflammation in the body. So ultimately, I suppose you'd think, okay, how can I move on from this? Then further on the line for us, there was a lot of kind of fertility treatments and hormone treatments going in an already compromised body that wasn't functioning and working properly. So I suppose, so why am I telling you this? Not to take out the hankies or anything, but just to say that everybody has a story. And I suppose the question is, you know, what are you going to do now? And what are you going to do to change it? So for me, thankfully, it was nutrition. I realized that when I actually ate better, I felt better. My mood started to improve, my energy improved, my digestive system started working properly. So everything started to increase. I used to really suffer as well from these really bad blood sugar imbalances where, you know, in the evening time around 3 or 4 o'clock where you get that energy slump. Don't know if any of you know what I'm talking about. Like to go for a little nap maybe. And also, you know, coming up to dinner time and just really starving and getting really cranky, and literally the family would say, God, throw her something or she's going to kill us. So, you know, it's amazing what food can do for you. And it's amazing that, you know, just even eating at the right times and eating a balanced diet can actually help you with your mood and with your energy and with your performance. And, you know, maybe it means less arguments at home, less arguments in the office. And hang on, now I've got more energy, so maybe I'll get up in the morning and I'll be able to exercise. Or maybe I'll be able to go home in the evening and exercise. You know, every time we eat is a time to nourish ourselves. So you need to ask yourself, what are you nourishing yourself with? So I suppose, yeah, what I tell people is the best present that I've actually ever given myself is the time to become healthy and well, is the time to actually cook wholesome dinners for myself, to buy the proper foods, to exercise, to meditate, and to do these various things in my life that will actually help improve my life. And sometimes, it's when you're working with people, and thankfully for me now, I'm actually doing something that I love and that I'm passionate about and that I can see is actually making a difference in people's lives. I can see people getting that, that spark for what they really liked, that really zest for life coming back when they make certain changes. And sometimes it's just the simplest of things. For one of my clients, she, in part of her program, I said to her, look, you just really have to get up and get that breakfast in the morning and start eating a good, healthy breakfast. So she rang me about a week later and she said, oh my God, she said, I never realized what a crank I was inside in work. I used to eat the head off them. And she said, they're all telling me I'm in much better form. So even this has already improved our work environment. So I suppose it's really about getting the whole package and getting the nutrition, getting exercise, and the mindset, and what you do for your relaxation. And when I got involved with this boot camp and people are booking in there for a week, I suppose with the science background in my head, I was thinking, God, this is like nearly a controlled experiment. I have the menu set out for them, so we know exactly what they're going to eat. We have the exercise program set out for them. So then they're getting life coaching, they're getting demonstrations, nutrition talks, and a whole, getting yoga, meditation. So I thought, would they actually see any kind of a change in a week? So, I say to them, guys, forget about the fad diets. Think healthy eating. Think nutrient-dense foods. And, eating at the right times, eating at the right combinations. So what are we starting to see? Well, initially, okay, they're off the coffees, they're off the sugary stuff. So the first few days, touch and go, the withdrawal symptoms are coming out. But then what are they saying at the end of the week? Most of them are saying, thank you. One girl, her psoriasis cleared up in 4 days, and this was on her face. So you can imagine how self-conscious she was about this. Others saying, God, bloating is gone, I feel better, my head is clearer, this is great, I can think better. But for me, what is really important is they start to get it up here. And they're starting to get that mindset change, that they can actually make better choices, that they can start developing better habits, and they're making a conscious choice now on what they actually eat. Because I suppose a lot of people don't think about what they're eating or when they're eating. So this was fantastic to actually see. So I suppose we've got to start maybe talking more about wellness, because we're definitely hearing a lot more about sickness and ill health and hospitals and sick leave. And ultimately, I suppose we want to, we like this to improve, because we're seeing statistics for obesity, and we've got 1 in 4 under the age of 20 Irish girls and boys being overweight or obese. We've got 2 out of 3 Irish men overweight or obese, and 1 in 2 Irish women being overweight or obese. So what's happening? This is all leading to increased cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, cancers, and all these new diseases and that are coming out. So what can we do? Well, research is telling us that over 50% of what determines our health is our lifestyle choice. I'm going to say that again. So research is saying that over 50% of what determines our health is our lifestyle choice. How empowering is that? So I don't know if you've ever heard of the blue zones. There's a lot of research done on them, a lot of documentaries and a lot of books. And they're the places that people are living the longest and living the healthiest. So they're looking into seeing what are they actually doing and how is this happening. So do we have to move there, or can maybe we take some of the things that they're doing back here with us? So what are they doing? So the first one is that they move naturally. So, they're not pumping iron or going to the gym every day. They actually, walk or cycle or do physical labor as part of their everyday. They're able to downshift stress. So stress is a huge cause for inflammation in the body. So what are you doing to downshift your stress in the day? Bring in things that are going to help you. So they also do the 80% rule. So when they're 80% full, they stop and they don't eat anymore. And I suppose that 20% maybe is the difference between being overweight or losing weight. They also have a more plant-based diet, so more beans, lentils, nuts and vegetables and fruit. And they do have some meat, but it's all portion controlled. They also have a great sense of community and all a part of a community, and also really put loved ones first. And the last thing that they have is they have a sense of purpose. So what's your sense of purpose? What's getting you out of bed in the morning? So I suppose we're moving into a new paradigm of health. And, it's about time, I suppose, that we can't put our heads in the sand, I suppose, anymore about our health. It's time for us to take responsibility for our own health and see what we can actually do. I suppose at the moment, everything is so busy, technology, everybody's go, and we all kind of want to, keep up with things. We all want to, achieve more. We've higher expectations of ourselves and we've higher expectations of others. So we want to get up in the morning and you have to feed the kids and you have to go to work and you want to exercise and you have to do that presentation and you have to come home and you want to exercise. And you'd be wrecked even talking about it. So how are you managing all this? And how are you managing yourself to ensure that you're able to keep up this form? Is it by you're thinking, sure, I'll have a cup of coffee and that'll keep me going for a half hour. And maybe I'll have another one and that'll keep me going till lunchtime. So we really need to think about what we're putting in place for ourselves. And I suppose, what about when you want to maybe plan for a marathon or plan to do a triathlon? Brilliant. That's great. So what's your program? And what's your nutrition program? I suppose the biggest thing I see with a lot of athletes or sports people is that they're not eating enough calories and they're not eating maybe the right calories, thinking, sure, I can eat this because I'm going to run it off anyway. Also, maybe nutrient timing, getting the right foods in at the right time, making sure we're recovering properly. What about our gut? Are we actually digesting our foods properly? And, what about recovery? Are you having a day of recovery or are you suppressing your immune system so you're ending up with all the colds and flus and not giving yourself enough time to come around and feel better? So I suppose there's a few kind of obstacles for people with healthy eating. And one can be maybe people think it's expensive, which it can be. People, I suppose, say there's a lot of work in it. So what about the time issue? I have to prepare things. And also it gets confusing, doesn't it? There's so many different things that are out there, so many different articles. One thing is healthy one week, something else is healthy another week. So what do we need to do? We need to start developing good habits. We need to start thinking healthy eating, not the fad diets. Maybe this week it's about getting that breakfast in. Maybe we're going to eat all brown instead of white. So it's going to be brown rice. It's going to be brown pasta. We want to have that nice, slow releasing foods that's going to keep that nice focus and concentration for ourselves throughout the day. Portion control. What are your portion sizes like? So it's getting the whole package. It's not making it complicated for ourselves. I suppose planning and preparing your meals is the simplest change that you can make in order to be successful in healthy eating. So maybe at the weekend you're thinking, okay, we've an hour here. Let's think about the meals ahead for the week. So who's doing the cooking? What are we cooking? Have we got the ingredients in? So am I going to work and do I need to prepare a lunch? Am I going traveling? Maybe I need to bring something in the car with me. Do I have my healthy snacks with me ready to go and in places so that, I'm not going to stop in the petrol station on the way home. I have a nice healthy snack in the car there for me. So these are all kind of the little things to bring in order to help you, and if you have a bad day, forgive yourself and just move on and pick it up again the next day. So for me, I suppose in this journey of health and wellness, I feel much more full of life. I feel excited about life. I feel healthier and, more going on the right path that I actually want. Before, I kind of muddled along and now I feel like I'm more in the driving seat. So life is all about maximizing your potential and fulfilling your, and really fulfilling your life. So I suppose, what are you waiting for? Let's get living. Thank you.